Radiance.
Good morning.
Today is like bittersweet because we are wrapping up week 4, wrapping up this series of this BIPOC mental health month. Like, it's been such a good time,
Yeah,
conversations, and it's just like, dang, it's great that we still have this week.
yeah,
Like, oh, it's over.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, but how are you doing? How are you feeling?
I feel good. It is a new month, right? So it's like a new energy. We were talking about how it's halfway, it's beyond halfway through the year. So how are you setting yourself up for the next, 6 months? In a beautiful way. So, you think of the things you have to do, but then also the way in which you're going to care for yourself. And so it's been good, like as of late. I've been thinking of ways to care for myself, my future self.
Exactly that. And
Yeah.
it's just like the first 6 months of the year. This is the perfect time to reevaluate what has been
Yeah.
working. How can you pivot to make the second half of the year like the best second half of the year?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So we talked about a little bit of everything. So week 1, we talked about aligning the mind. Week 2, strengthen the body. Week 3, nourish the soul.
Yeah.
So this week, we're putting it all together and talking about how can we elevate the self. How do we integrate all of these things? Okay, level up, level up. How do we integrate? How do we integrate these things? And pretty much, how do we get to our next level of wellness? I'm super excited to dive into this. And we're diving into what does it mean to elevate. So yes, not just your routine, but your relationship with yourself. Um, so it's about integration. It's about growth and just bringing all these pieces together that we talked about. Um, because as we know, wellness isn't what we do when we're in a crisis or in the midst of a challenge. It's how do we live on a daily basis. So today we'll explore how to make everything that we talk about stick, how to carry it into your next season of your life. So even reflecting back to the first
Yeah.
6 months of the year, how can we make it stick for the second half? Um,
Yeah.
and just more intention and a lot more ease. So no pressure to be perfect, just permission to evolve.
Ooh, I love that. I love that because I'm a recovering perfectionist.
We're perfectionists. I love that. But you do what you do very well.
Um,
We said this before. I said this before we hopped on the call. But yes, recovering perfectionist. But what you do very well, Radiance. I'm gonna say that. Okay.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Love it. So, yes, let's go ahead and dive into it. Do you want to get us centered and grounded?
Oh, yes. I would love that. Yeah, cool. So, because this kind of just helps me with my thoughts. I don't know about you, but I'm already thinking about like what I have to do next or what I was doing this morning. So let's just
Mhm.
be in the present moment now. And one of my favorite practices is just 5 intentional breaths, like 5 intentional breaths. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's get into our seat, nice and cozy. I like to just kind of like roll out my shoulders, just get a little bit of movement in, maybe side to side. Taking a deep breath in and out, and then just settling here. Yeah. If it feels good to you, you can close your eyes, look at the tip of your nose, or give yourself a soft gaze. And let's do 5 breaths. And we'll start here. Breath 1, deep inhale in through the nose, and exhaling softly through your mouth. Breath 2, deep inhale in through the nose, and exhaling through your mouth. Relax your shoulders, relax your face. Breath 3, inhale in Exhale out. Or inhale in and exhale, letting it go. Breath 5, last one, best one. Deep inhale in through your nose. And exhale, releasing through your mouth. Now finding your own breath and just tune in to the silence here. Just monitoring your breath and how you feel in this moment. And just giving gratitude to your body and your mind as we prepare for this conversation. Gently opening your eye. There we are.
Yes. Yes, it does. It does. Whew. Yeah, because my mind was literally all over the place. Like, yes, what else I have to do today? X, Y, and Z. It never got done yesterday, and I'm like, oh shoot, I got day two. So clear minds as we
Yeah.
do this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what next level wellness is like putting, going back to week one, putting yourself first,
Hmm.
clearing the mind, the table before you prepare for something else. And next level leaders do for sure.
Okay. Okay. And we are next level. Okay. uh, all right. All right. So, oh, right. Before we dive in, oh, the wins from the week.
Hmm. And it's like, okay, let me go into my vault of wins. All right. I definitely would say going home. I went home this past weekend and that was a win, simply because I had seen family members that I haven't seen in years. And also I was able to really show up as my full self because I'm always pouring into myself and taking care of myself, that I was able to show up as my full self. And I went home, unfortunately, for a passing in my family. So it's not like it's like the biggest, best, brightest reason. And so because I was pouring into up for my family, I was able to be a little ray of sunshine to them and just keep the energy well and help people be well, or help my family members be well during that weekend. And that's just such a win because you want people to feel good even through difficult
Mm,
emotions, or at least feel seen and safe. Yeah.
that I love that. Well, I'm definitely glad that you had.
How about you?
Yes, 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 yes. I'm definitely glad that you had the space and opportunity to go home to take care of that. So that's a beautiful thing. And
Yeah.
my,
Thank you.
yes, absolutely. My win for this last week is being mindful of my capacity. I was super mindful about my capacity, being more mindful of my energy levels, and literally, again, just saying no to things
Yeah.
that I knew that I couldn't show up for um, as much as I wanted to. Again, just realizing that I can't be out all the things and doing all the things, even though I really
Yeah.
want to do it. Um, but I just knew I didn't have the capacity. So, um,
Yeah.
mindful of that and actually taking a full day of rest, no work at all. So, I don't know. That was my win. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that was
That's a big win, girl.
my. Yeah, so we are just winning all over the place. Okay, we are just winning.
Yeah. Yes. Always.
Yes. All right. So cool. So let's go ahead and get into it. So just
Okay.
talking about elevating the self. So we talked about the body, the boundaries, the burnout, the breath, and now it's time to talk about like what's next. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't want to get people confused because elevation doesn't mean doing more. It just means
No.
that what you're doing aligns. Okay. It's not a
Yeah.
hustle culture or anything like that. It's about choosing the habits, the thoughts, the environments that actually match the version that you are and that you're becoming. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so as we talk about the next level wellness, what does that mean to you? And not like in theory, but how do you show up for yourself every day?
Think that's where people think that they can just kind of fast track wellness when in reality it's choosing always. And so even my one of my or I have a couple. And so one of the things that I put was that I begin with my breath, not the algorithm. When you think about wake as soon as you wake up in the morning, a lot of times we pick up our phones or we allow digital and other folks to come into our sacred space, which is our bedroom, and our minds are fresh. I like to start with my breath and prayer meditation versus just consuming other things. And that helps me set the tone for my day. But then it also helps me not one idolize else, right? And then it tells you that at the end of the day, you all you got, right? Like your body, your breath, your mind has been here since day one. So starting with your own breath, the stillness, the present moment can get you to your next level wellness. Also, for me, wellness is not just discipline. I get that. Like, I ran track. And so, discipline, that word discipline, rah, 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 but I think of discipline as strict, like enforcement a little bit. And so, my wellness, me, my self care, it's devotion to self. Like it is a devotion, it's a spiritual practice for me. And it's a sense of gratitude for the body I've been given, the mind, the awareness. So I look at it as a sense of devotion versus, oh, I I have to breathe today. Like, no, I'm so excited to breathe today. I get to breathe and I'm gonna breathe outside on that. Like, like just enjoying all of those elements. And so I also think about like how nature, speaking of outside, nature is medicine purpose, and we learn so much from nature. So when you think of next level wellness, nature is always well. It goes through its seasons. It's always going to show, right? It's going to produce and bloom. And so I think of that for myself. I have a couple others. Oh, this was like a banger, a little mic drop. Boop. Okay, so I was like, radiance isn't something I chase. It's who I am.
Mm.
And because at the end of the day, I know my name is still like it's radiance, right? Which is something, the light. And
Yeah.
so I don't try to be radiance. I am that. And I remember that. And so everything I do comes with a level of excellence. And so that's next level. It's always like, and like you said, it's not striving to do more. It's just like refining in a way for the season you're in. I'm trying to think of like the perfect way to say that, but those are just some of my bangers. I'll have more.
Yeah. Putting down. I'm definitely picking up what you're putting down. So yeah, I love that. And your when you said that you begin with your breath and not the algorithm in the morning, that literally takes me
Yeah.
back to that literally takes me back to Savers method that we talked
Yeah.
about. Was that last week? Week before?
Oh my God, yes. I love that method.
Yeah. So that just takes me back to that. And so I just wanted to double tap on that. But also for me, kind of like you were saying, like the next level looks like working smarter and not harder. Cause I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes we have these days where we're so busy, we're doing this, we're doing that, but at the end of the day, we look back and it's like, I didn't do nothing. I did a whole bunch of like nothing today, right?
Yeah.
So being more mindful, being more intentional with the work, um, fewer late nights,
Mm.
more boundaries around
Oh,
my time. Yeah. Especially because I gotta get up early. Like I can't, child, I can't.
yeah.
I
Those late nights be giving me the two-piece. Boop, boop. I'm like, ah,
absolutely,
I'm done. If I lose an hour in the morning,
yeah,
the whole day.
exactly.
But that usually comes from late nights. Yeah.
Exactly. And then I also think that prioritizing things outside of like just being consistent in my workouts, like prioritizing my sleep,
Yeah.
being mindful to not to burn myself out, and just protecting space for joy. Like last week, I forgot
Yeah.
what day it was. But I recently did a post about things that bring me joy because it was like National Day of Joy or something like that. And it's just like,
Ooh,
often do we how often do we intentionally set aside space to do things that bring us joy? Like, I'm not talking
exactly.
like, oh, da, 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 but like kid like joy, like fills your heart type of joy.
Yeah.
So just,
Oh, yes.
yeah, so just being more intentional about doing things like that. So it's a feeling good, not just doing good, but
Yeah.
good. Um,
Feeling good.
yeah, girl.
And I feel like going like pinging into your kid-like joy, it helps relinquish anything that someone like the judgment that you feel like you would get from someone when you're just like, I don't know, hula hooping in the park, like in a fun way as an adult. You don't really know how to hula hoop, but it's just enjoyable and you're giggling and you're laughing. I think of that anytime I see a swing, I go swing
Yeah,
100% on the playground. That was like one of my favorite things. Like you're swinging in the air. Like I never realized. Sometimes I'll try to jump off, and I'm like, hold
right,
up.
exactly. The knees aren't the way that they used to be. So we.
Yeah, but it gives me so much like joy. Like for what is swinging gonna do? It's actually a good workout as an adult now I think about it, but
Mhm.
it's similar to what you said, and that's the next level. It's like not relinquishing the shame or the whatever that you judgment that you feel you would get from having such kid-like joy because
Yeah,
the world wants to harden.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So now you got
Yeah.
like I just want to have a youth day. So things that take me back to being a kid.
Oh yeah.
Playground, coloring, skating, things that like I
Ooh.
did. So I think I'm gonna like implement that, like a youth day. Maybe I'll name it something else, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Okay. Yeah. 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 So as we talk about going to the next level, what's something
Yeah.
that you're finally ready to leave behind in the old level?
Yeah. So this was like one of the hardest things that I ever had to, and I'm still outgrowing it a little bit, but
Mhm.
that we have to have pain and suffering before we can have success.
Mm,
And I hear what people are saying. Like, you know what I mean? I kind of hear it, but it's like that doesn't have to be a prerequisite to good things happening for our lives. And so me, I'm outgrowing that and that good things could happen to me no matter what, knowing that I have a heart-centered business. So leading with my heart, being intentional with my words and my service out. I don't have to in a funny way. I'm like, I saw this like TikTok where this guy was like, God, show me how it feels to be wealthy. Like you've shown me suffering and poor, you know. But people have that mindset, even in my where I came from. It's like you have to work so hard so that you can get this. And I think that that's a toxic mindset. And so slowly outgrowing it because it was ingrained in my subconscious mind that I have to work, work, work. I have to, even as a Black woman, have all these degrees, right? To
Mm,
even become considered slightly. And so instead of that, I was like, I no longer feel like I have to suffer to have the life that God envisioned me to have because He's limitless. When we think of abundance, it's limitless. Like you can have anything and it doesn't have to come from, you like this is my origin story and it's so traumatic just to get success. Yeah. That's a huge one. And then also carrying other people's expectations because it kind of goes into the same thing. Other people's expectations outside of my intuition. I listen to myself first and how my body feels, even when it comes to a decision versus I expect you to be XYZ, whether it is a client, a job, family members.
mhm.
No, like how do I feel? What is going on with me versus the expectation of others? And then last one, best one, baby. Okay, because that it goes into this one. It's like, remember us corporate baddies? You remember that those time frames of our lives? We fit into a very specific box, maybe to stay professional or look professional. I would never come in my Lululemons to work, or even I would change in the bathroom and scurry out because, like, I was like, "Ah, I don't want people to know like I am this really dope runner and I'm about to go run across the city because I felt like I had to have two different lives. I had to be this corporate professional and this, and so now I've been blending the two a lot more because you can be both, and I'm not dimming my light just because, this person or this XYZ has to have a certain way. I'm coming in here looking like a fine apple, okay? And then I'm gonna throw a yoga pants like right now. You don't even have to have it. Like I love just designing the life I want. And so outgrowing those expectations from others, outgrowing the like you have to success and outgrowing you only have to be this certain way in front of these people versus being yourself and you who want you. Yeah,
Wow.
girl. I know. I'm growing for
Girl,
real. Okay.
I'm just gonna double tap on everything that you said, especially the
Yeah.
suffering before success. Like who narrative? Like
Insane.
we don't have to. And we don't have to keep working, 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 working just to like child, like we can just wrap this down
No.
because you
No, but for real though, like work more hours. You said it too. You were like, I'm working smarter, not harder. And even when it comes to when we think of the history of work, right? It's just like you're working, 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 working to get a meal, right? So now it's just transferred into to get that not be expansive, a little bit more of a paycheck. Like this is where burnout and
Mhm.
breakdown happens.
Oh Lord. Yeah, that was all of
Yeah.
all
Yeah, you
said,
get it.
all of what you said, child. Um, I'm gonna leave all that
Yeah.
behind too in this level. Even just to piggyback on what you said, I'm also leaving over explaining myself. So I used to feel like I by every
Ooh.
no and every time I would put in a boundary.
Yeah.
But now I'm just comfortable with just letting my no be a no and that's it.
You know?
Um yeah, like I this morning I literally just had to the meeting that I canceled. I'm just like it's a no because I just know
It's
like,
just an
we're gonna be discussing just wasn't for me, and I just like yeah, hmm, no. Leaving that we're leaving
yeah.
over explaining, um, and then the
Yeah.
business side, I'm also leaving like negotiating my worth. Um,
Yes.
it took
Ooh.
me I like a while. It took me a while. And also, my mentor had said something on a panel that she was speaking at, is that we mainly as like in this fitness space, honestly in any entrepreneur space, that we feel like we have to give more and do more when we raise our prices. Like, why
Mm.
why isn't the price because of the worth, our worth and our value that we
Yeah.
already give? Like, we don't have to add more and add more and add more to quote
No.
justify what it is. So I'm just like, we don't have to add more. Like, uh,
Yeah.
and I used to do that. I used to do that. So,
Yeah, but like I'll throw in this, and this, and next thing you know, I'm exhausted and tired, you know?
which goes back to the boundaries and the burnout that we talked about. Was that last week?
Yeah. Yeah, literally. Literally. And so that's when we think about both of ours, the only way to get to the next level is to relinquish of those as fears. Like fear what they would say if I said the rate is $10,000 for 30-minute session, workshop session. We usually pay 2,000. And you're like, well, I can like where
What?
did that come
Right.
from? Like, I feel like it's a fear of not being chosen. Like, girl, no, if you're 10, you're 10, and you can deny, if they accept, then that's okay. But like I have negotiated so much, and I was like, what is the root of this? Not being chosen,
Mm.
the fear that there won't be another good opportunity. Like, what comes from that? So when we think of next level wellness, it is like relinquishing those fears of not being chosen, of being abandoned, like, those bigger themes of feeling like you have to be, as a black person, even black and brown, like you have to work so hard, or being this like mental and exhaustion in order to get XYZ. Like, those are fears. Ah,
I see people putting the hearts. Yes, they feel it. They picking up what we putting down, because I know y'all can relate, because this is
yeah.
child. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So elevating, now integration.
Yeah.
Yes, because doing the work doesn't matter if we don't live it. So this isn't about being perfect, like
Boom.
routine. It's about letting, wellness actually be woven and integrated into your real life. So the
Yeah.
the meetings, for those who can relate, motherhood, it's just the moments that you don't feel like it, but it still has to be, sustainable. So
Yeah.
just based off the last 3 weeks that we've been, doing this, what's one practice or mindset shift from this series that you
Mhm.
want into your everyday life now?
Into my everyday life, definitely the mindset shifts, and I'm gonna just go back into the very base foundation of gratitude. Gratitude. Like, I think when we sit and we're grateful, it makes you sit present moment, think about something that is well, right? And when we're thinking about gratitude or something that is well, our mind is not on anxiety. They can't coexist. Okay. So when we think about the right now, there's so much beauty in the right now. And by the time, I'm pretty sure if we're like sitting and thinking of a gratitude, we're breathing
Yeah.
and we have this present moment awareness. When when I think one of the differences with certain folks who are stuck is because they don't have the present moment awareness of what is happening right now in this moment. Not August 22nd. That was a random date, but we have no idea what's going to happen at that time. But when we really focus on who we are right now and what we may have, even if it's a small luxury, then that can help shift, because I think that when it comes to next level wellness and integration, it's about momentum. It's about momentum. That's it. They say the yellow brick road arrives every time you take the next step.
Mm.
Okay. It's not, oh, I see. It's not the MapQuest map. Remember we used to, that's
Yeah.
crazy. We used to print out MapQuest. But we don't get to see the full thing. Like, we get to see the as much as we can see, and that's why I love going to the ocean as well. Like, you see the water and then you see it stop, right? But you know it doesn't. And I think that's what's so beautiful about it. But when we just land present moment and we think about a gratitude and what we're grateful for, that I think that is the biggest one. Like, at base foundation, anyone can do that. What is that? All levels welcome. Beginners to advanced can do that.
Yeah.
Base foundation. How about you?
I definitely agree with you. And when you were talking about just being in the present, I heard, oh my gosh, I don't remember where I heard it from, but they were saying, now don't directly quote me, but something to you know, depression comes when you're too focused on the past, anxiety
Yes,
when you're too focused on the future and what
the
could
future.
happen that hasn't even happened.
Yeah, exactly.
So even just kind of to help alleviate that, just be in the present. What are you grateful for now?
Yeah,
Said that. Uh, I love that you said that. So I'm just gonna double tap on
yes.
that, and even
Mhm.
just the practice, like I already said, just checking in to see if I even
Mm.
have the capacity for this, and does it align with what I'm doing. So just check
Yeah,
every decision, every new offer or opportunity that happens to come my way. Um,
yeah.
is it aligned? Do I have the capacity? Is it even aligned with my purpose? Because if it doesn't, if it's going to take me
Mm.
further away from my goal,
Yeah,
then no. If it's going
yeah.
to to my goal or possibly get it closer to my goal, then it could
No,
be it.
yeah.
Um, so that's what I would say that I'm carrying into my every.
Yeah.
I just goes to any type of decision.
Yeah. And I think it's and I know you said goals. I think of when you had said, like, aligned value wise.
Mm,
Even when I was talking about fears, I think of, like, when I'm taking something that may be less than what I'm worth, or for example, if I worked with a tobacco company, right? They want to do yoga because they want to help with wellness. But I'm like, that's not aligned with my values. And it's great. You could probably find someone who's cool with that, but it's not aligned with my values, right? And so I love that you said that, like, even with what your goals are, because the people you work with are a representation of you.
hmm,
Like, and I'm not trying to have, and no, my bad to all the tobacco companies, but, like, I'm not trying to have, like, someone be like, Radiance is doing that. It's kind of weird, and not, and someone being myself almost. I don't care what anyone else says, but yeah, I think of it as a scarcity mindset a little bit too, when we kind of fold for something that we know is not a heck yes, remember?
yes, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I love that. There's something I was gonna say. Um,
And checking in. Ooh, I that was another one. Hold on, I have another.
yeah,
Doo-doo-doo.
yeah,
Some
yeah.
sprinkles on this. Checking in with yourself. It goes back to yourself. This is all you have, your body, your minds, like, this is it, yourself. And so when you said that, I was like, yes, that's a beautiful one for sure. Because checking in with yourself is just, you set the tone for the day, essentially.
Mhm, mhm. One thing I do want to add before we move on to the next thing. Um, I recently did a talk about the three anchors that you need in your wellness journey. So
Mm,
through different mindset shifts and things that I carry on to my everyday life, there's three anchors that I'm looking for, to make sure I'm very intentional about. It's your purpose, your people, and your personal code. So your
Ah,
purpose, right, are the things that you're doing on a daily basis. How is it connected to your purpose? How is it connected to your why? um People, like you were saying, even the clients that you work with, like the people that are
yeah,
in your circle is, yes, a direct reflection of you, but also,
yeah,
like, what does your tribe look like? Who is your support system? What does your community look like? um
yeah,
Often do you audit your circle? See, this right here can literally be a whole nother, but just being mindful of that. And then when you talk about your values, that's basically like your
mhm,
code. Does your habits that you implement, um
yeah,
is that aligned with your personal code, whether it's your values, your faith system, your morals, your
mm,
um so when we talk about habits and things that we're carrying on in our everyday life going forward, and even
yeah,
just second half of the year, how can you be intentional with those three anchors?
yeah. What would you say? I'm about to throw hold up, catch it, bow.
Okay.
Okay, there it is. For people who don't know what their purpose is, that was something I've been having conversations with folks, and they live and they're like, I love my life, but I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm just kind of like, and we're purpose driven. I'm like, I know I'm this, and this. But like, it made me just think, even now, for those who are confused within their purpose or what they think they're supposed to be doing, what is some guidance that almost like we could give them even in that sense?
That is such a good question. And I also think it kind of goes back to um the joy. Like, what
Yeah.
do you actually enjoy doing? What are you
Yeah.
passionate about? Um and I think that's a good, like, starting point. Just
Yeah.
to that, your joy and your passion.
Yeah.
What do you like to do?
What do
What
you like to do?
um
All right, wait, hold up. Let's go with speed round. Boom. What do you like to do?
in a sense, I like to teach. I like to educate. I like to share my knowledge. I also like to break
Yeah.
complex concepts and make it simple and digestible to the everyday person, which is basically
Ooh.
training and in wellness.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I like doing that. I love anything that is, yes, obviously wellness, that's making me feel good, things like that,
Yeah.
and just helping people, serving.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No, I feel that way too. There was something, this was like one of the prompts in the book I'm reading, which is The Artist's Way, or something similar. And it was like, write out things that light you up and or make you smile. And one of the things that makes me smile, even like to the simplest form or like lights me up, is like hearing people's testimonies or stories.
Yes.
I'm so interested in that. And so it makes me think, because the way that my brain thinks is like wanting to be a producer of helping people to share their stories, right? And so, and again, what I was telling, I had just seen my 18-year-old cousin. It's kind of cool because I'm like, wow, at one point I was 18. We went to the same high school, graduated 17 years apart.
Eh,
And so it's kind of cool because, like, when I was 18, girl, I wouldn't think I would be right here, to be serious. 100% things can drastically change. But what lit me up at 18, which is being on broadcast, because it wasn't social media at that time, but being on like a broadcast, talking, doing my hair in fun ways, like all of those things kind of always stay with you throughout your years, but it just shape shifts into different ways in which you can service the world. Um, and then for wellness wise, I think one of my cool things that I like to tell people is that I take iconic places and transfer them into spaces for wellness. So
mm,
I love seeing an iconic place and be like, this is what we should do in it for
yeah.
wellness activity, non alcoholic, like dry events for someone versus anything in like really iconic places. So, for example, Union Station. I love doing yoga on marble floors. What?
Yeah.
My ancestors would be proud. Like, so, yeah, so I think for people, it's like following what lights you up. Like, what, like, I love my favorite emoji, the star eyes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And even as you were saying, like, getting pretty and things like that and talking about,
Yeah.
I'm also thinking like how I have now evolved to loving content creation.
Yes.
Who really didn't like speaking into a camera or speaking in
Oh,
public
wow.
like that. Like now, like you said, that can like shapeshift. Like
Yeah.
now, baby, give me the mic, okay? Turn to me, okay? I'm ready.
I'll be the group presenter.
Yeah, that definitely
Oh,
like
I
yeah,
love that. I
yeah,
love that. And yeah, I just wanted to point that out there and bring that out to the folks that are watching because the amount of people that have like they admire my my radiance because they're like you are exactly who you are, like you're I can see you doing exactly what you're doing, but I have no idea and I'm just sitting there because you have to guide them towards it. No one can tell you. Again, we're releasing and relinquishing the expectations of others, but it's up to you to listen to yourself and your body, and that's what next level wellness is, because once you're doing something that you enjoy,
yeah,
oh, you can't get me off of that.
exactly. Can't nobody tell you nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
Thanks for letting me put that one in
of
there.
course, of course. So as we're talking about these things and staying on track, how
Mm.
give yourself grace when things happen to fall off track, and then how you stay grounded
Wow.
in your journey during those times.
Yeah. So, oh, girl, we were just thinking about this. Grace is so important. To give, like, this world is very rough and difficult, such a beautiful world also, right? But it will try to harden you. And so one of the biggest things that I have done over the past years is even like reparenting myself. And so giving myself some of those things that I need, even if I was like putting myself in my 8-year-old child self and just being like, okay, yeah, you bought that, I don't know, that $1,000 coaching package and it was not good. It's okay. Like, you tried, you invested in yourself. Like, like being a motivator, a parent, a coach to my own self by speaking well
For
to
sure.
myself. For one, speaking very kind words, and then similar to what you said earlier, by showing up for myself. I get it, girl. You're tired, but can you like lay out on your deck like instead of the bed for 30 minutes and then come back? Like I I encourage myself so much. I literally talk, what is it, third person? Is it third first person? I was be like, Radiance, get up.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, the parenting, the being gentle with words, because self-criticism, I was criticized so much even as a child, and just like, you should be doing this. And then, I mean, subconsciously, criticism, like, you need to be doing this, and this, that now, giving myself the maximum amount of grace.
Hmm.
And I'm proud of you for trying, or I'm proud of you for showing up, or I'm proud of you for this. Because girl, there's mistakes I haven't even made yet, right? That I know I'm gonna make. So it's like getting into the practice of care, being a caretaker of self when those things happen, no matter what. And some of the things we can't control at all. I could have bought some big thing and then COVID happened. That's not my fault. So I don't want to go into, a sense of be like, oh, I knew I shouldn't have bought the girl. You had no idea, you know? Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. And what I was gonna say is basically what you said is just
Yeah.
also just reframing. So things that I've
Yes.
told myself, like if I missed a workout or X, Y, and Z, like how can I also just reframe it? And it takes me back to this reel that Kiki Palmer just did.
Mm.
Um she was I interviewing somebody or somebody was interviewing her, and she was just like, if things happen off track. Like if she didn't get a role for this movie, like instead of saying like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't get the role X, Y, and Z," she says, "Well, your movie isn't going to be as good as as it could be if I was in it." So it's
Foul.
just reframe and just how do you also do that and give
Yeah.
for sure. Um, and yeah, so also just creating the floor. And I think we talked about it
Yeah.
for week 3. So what is like my baseline? So what are
Yeah.
little things that I could come back to that I can still do for myself that'll in a sense kind of keep me
Yeah.
track? What is my floor? So when I have the capacity or I'm on it, I'm on track, that could also just be my ceiling, but definitely reframing and kind of like how I talk to myself, because that is going to show itself in future things.
Yeah.
Well,
100%. And it's so interesting, girl. I don't had how many hours we got here? I'm just joking, but I don't have so many epiphanies going back home, even because I always think of it when, and not just vacation, certain vacations, yes, but it's an extraction from your daily environments, right? So
mhm.
me even going home, I stayed with my cousins, and like I was in their house, right? But still being me. I still woke up at 6:30 and I was outside with my yoga mat in the front yard. I don't have a front yard, so I loved it.
Yeah.
But it's like the habits were still there. However, the environment was different. And talking to people or me showing up like this is like, wow, are you do you have an event today? And I'm like, no, I just put on a red lip. Like, it's just like being myself and being normal. It's so interesting to see how, I don't know, just the radiance, but in different environments.
Yeah.
You think of this too, like, and so when I think when someone's just like, oh, you're waking up at 6:30, why? We don't have to be there till 12. Oh, I have to do my morning routine. It's kinda cool that, like, your base foundation or your, what did you say, your ceiling?
Uh,
Your floor inspires so many people when you are extracted out and just placed somewhere else. Now, I know that was, like, family at home, but same thing when I was on group
exactly.
trip.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, yeah. And so you're creating a base foundation for yourself no matter what, which I think is dope.
Yes. Heavy on that vacation because there was so many times like, yeah, we'd be on vacation, but like I'm still gonna go work out. Oh, I'm still gonna go to the gym. Oh, I'm still gonna X, Y, and Z. Like,
Yeah. I always try to catch the sunrise, like,
right.
when and so people are like, "Oh, that's too early. I'm tired." Okay.
Right.
I don't know, like, I don't argue with fools.
Yeah.
And
No
that's
point.
okay. You can be tired. I'll do my little nap at, 11.
Hmm.
I don't know. And that's okay, but I love that creating a floor for sure.
Yes, yes, yes. So
No.
yeah. So as we and I feel like creating these things and doing these things is a result of growth and growing.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
getting into that when we're talking about gratitude and growth, um, growth doesn't have to look like a big milestone, right? And I think
Yeah.
that most people think that any kind of change, any kind of growth, any kind of X, Y, and Z
Mhm.
requires this big, grand production, like evolution, and it don't. And most times it's
Mm-mm.
like the smallest shifts. But also when we anchor into the gratitude, real, messy,
Mhm.
we can see how far that we've truly come, even um when we still have far to go. Like I feel like
Yeah.
it's the evolution is always growing. So even looking back, just like, oh my gosh, that old Tynika with an X, Y, and Z. But if I'm thinking about
Yeah.
5 years from now, like she's gonna be nothing like I am right now. So
Yeah.
we still always have an evolution and a distance to go. So but being centered into your gratitude helps you notice it, and also
Yeah.
slow down enough to realize,
Yes.
dang girl, like you did that, like
You get
who,
that.
who are you, right?
Who are you? Yes.
Who are you? So going back to gratitude, what's something in this season of your life that you're genuinely thankful for, even
Mhm.
if it's still messy?
Yeah, yeah. And when I
Mhm.
was thinking about this question, it makes me just think of like this testimony card because we have prayer cards and testimony cards, and I'll write which one. And I remember writing about that. I just thank God that my nervous system, healing my nervous system, and I feel like it's more regulated and I'm more in tune with it. And so when I think of gratitude, because I became more in tune with myself, I was able to follow that purpose, that thing that lights me up a little bit more with courage. Because we had our burnout stories, our like, I quit this job story, you know? And so for me, my gratitude daily in the season of my life is being able to wake up every single day and do what I love. Waking up today, this morning, I did my, my 10-step morning routine. And then I'm here. And I love this conversation. I love being here. I was struggling a little bit. We talked about this. I was like, oh, hold up with the hair. But again, being able to get up, morning sunshine, do my hair, get dressed, get on live, have a good conversation about living a better life. I'll be teaching yoga a little bit later. I get to go into the studio. I love walking into the studio, seeing people like move their body. Like you see, even me talking about it is really exciting to me. And so to have the freedom and flexibility to have the life that I love is dope because I remember at one point waking up, and going through this cyclical nature and being like driving to work, just like, oh, what is this person going to say to me today? And my nervous system, going back to that, was out of whack. So the word messy, when I think of messy, it's being an entrepreneur can be difficult, period, right? And growing. So I jumped off a very high ladder to come back, but with a big brain. So it's like the messy part is like, oh, I miss the stability of this beautiful paycheck. And now, what is it? Someone had told me it's like entrepreneurship is killing what you eat, right? You have to like go out there and find
Yeah,
the food and stuff.
yeah,
And so that could be the messy part sometimes is the going back into that hard work. But the beautiful thing, I woke up and I knew I was doing this conversation. I knew I was teaching yoga. I know I get to do my own workout today. Like I'm gonna take a bath tonight. Like, oh, I might take a midday bath. Who knows? Like I love the freedom and I love doing what lights me up. That's my gratitude, 100%. 100%.
girl. I definitely agree with that, and I love um that we are on the same page.
Yeah.
Just being an entrepreneur, even like prior to being in fitness, like I was telling you before,
Mhm.
I was doing insurance, but I was
Yeah.
still, self-employed. And I
Mm.
like those seasons have built my resilience
Yes.
that you see now. Because
Yeah.
yeah, hard out here.
Yeah.
It's like be a
Heavy.
where they said like it'll be great, they said. And it is. And it is.
It is and
Is and
I
right.
feel that deeply. I feel
Um
that.
yeah, because it can be messy. So along with just which is why it's even more important to have a wellness routine, a wellness
Yeah.
like centered in some kind of
Center.
wellness something um
Yeah.
in this entrepreneurial life that we are living. So I'm definitely um thankful, honestly, if I'm looking back, all of the hard times in business,
Yeah.
right? But that also just kind of built the resilience that kind of keeps me going and allows me
Yeah.
to still show up. Regardless what things may look like on the back end, we still
That
showing
part.
up, you know.
Literally. And our base
Okay.
foundation is very excellent. Like this, again, it goes back into like my base foundation is excellence. And that's not because I force it or anything. If I had a normal base foundation day, it's better than a lot of people's days. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Like just my normal base foundation. We're going to show up. And we're going
Yeah.
to show up looking like this. What?
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
That that part, I love that. So as we
Yeah.
wrap up, I do want to ask, what is one thing that you're proud of yourself for right now, whether anyone's
Mm.
not?
Yeah. So I'm proud of myself for choosing me. For
Mm,
choosing me. And I think that's like a daily choice, but there's certain choices that are a little bit bigger than others. So me, and I know we had just mentioned this, but when I resigned my corporate job, scared, so scared. I felt like I was standing at the edge of a cliff, right? You have no idea. I did not see all the yellow brick road, nothing. And I still did it. Like, I still made the choice to choose my health, my well-being, and my nervous system. And so I think I'm just so proud of myself because that's the thing, it goes back into fear. Fear is why people, a lot of folks who are stuck will not move. It's like the fear of what if, in a sense. And I was just like, whatever.
yeah.
And so I chose it. I chose myself, and I chose myself every day leading up to that, and I continue to do that. I want to say, like, Radiance, look, Radiance, if you're watching, my future Radiance, I'm so proud of you for choosing yourself even in these moments that we have right now. I'm so proud of you for choosing yourself. I'm proud of you for choosing whatever color you wore that day because that's what got the attention of a sponsor, or something like that. Like, I'm literally just you choose when I choose myself every day and I just show up as radiance, I'm so proud of myself. 100%.
I
Yeah.
love that. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. That is so
Mhm.
that is so good.
Yeah.
Future Radiance is proud of the Radiance now that's making the choices for the future Radiance, if that makes sense.
Yes. No, it makes sense because that's how I live. That's how I live my life. Oh my gosh. It all started with one of my friends who passed away, Hearn. Love him. Amazing fitness trainer. But I always would do things for my future self. And I would tell him, I was like, I'm doing things for my future self. And it got him to start doing things for his future self. And he was like, Radiance, I like, I loaded my truck early for my future self. And so that used to be the thing. And it was just so fun. Like the choices. I got locks for my future self. 100%. 100%. They were like, how do you want to look and feel in 5 years? I want locks down my back. So this hairstyle won't be for my future self because it'll be
Yeah,
longer.
right.
So I don't know. What is something that you're choosing for your future self right now?
Oh, doing the work,
Yeah. Yeah.
doing the work. So even okay, so yeah, on the work side, yeah. So even sending the emails, making the phone,
Yes.
the events that I know I should be at. Like I said, I'm very,
Mm,
but picking and choosing and actually showing up and
yeah.
talking to Florida.
Not just RSVP. Send
Right,
me send me the recap.
right, right, right. Um,
Aw.
but even like going back to that event, an event specifically, an event back in May that I had all intentions of going to.
Mhm.
When I tell you, I really didn't want to go. I wanted
Yeah.
to go, but I didn't want to go. It was just one of those
Yeah.
things.
I feel
Like,
you.
I'm just like Tynika, like going to this event is going to help X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Go for an hour, hour and a half, and then you can do whatever you want
Yeah.
the rest of the day. So I did. I sucked it up. I did. But the future me now, I've gotten
So
like
proud.
so proud, and then just the fruits that are starting to grow just from attending
Aw.
that, and I'm just like, gosh, if I never attended, like these
Who
things,
knows?
my pipeline and things wouldn't be happening. So
Yeah.
just from that side, and also from like a personal side, one thing that I'm proud of is being very consistent with my devotional and literally being in my uh, Bible, which has allowed me to
Yes.
have more peace in very chaotic and stressful situations. Because when I
Yeah.
going back to the entrepreneurship and just life, has literally been lifing, and tiny
Yeah.
3, 4 years ago would have been stressed and X, Y, and Z and dot, dot, dot,
Crashed out.
right? But me now
Yeah.
being able to just be like, you know, whatever
Yeah.
happens, God's got it, like just this peace and not having to be stressed and just being anchored
Yeah.
that this is temporary and everything is going to work out how it's supposed to work out.
I love that.
I'm very proud of myself for that.
I love
Just
that. I
that.
love that. Heck yes. I mean, because that's whoo, and that's a whole other video, faith. Like just having faith. And you done I'm a little convicted because I need to get back into my bubble.
Yeah.
See, I don't want the word app on the end. I want the actual I need, and it's by my bedside. And they say that a lot of the answers that you're looking for are found in scripture. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. So kind of
Yeah.
like I said, going back to the Savers method, like
Yeah.
my R in Savers, the reading is my devotional. So I use
Right.
up scrolling every single morning and then
Yeah.
late. But like before I even do anything, check any email, text message, any notification, like that's the first.
Yeah. 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 No, I love that. And that goes back into breathing before algorithm, because like whatever we see in an email, like you could think yeah, you're gonna do your scripture reading after, but you already saw some email that already made your nervous system kind of icky,
Mhm,
and now
mhm.
you can't really fully pour in. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's so true. And even when you said that, I thought of one of my clients who sees me at 6 a.m. every morning. I'm like, don't you answer your email? Don't you check no email before you,
No,
because that literally changes like the workout, her
it's
mindset. Like you can
it's
do it.
energy. Yeah, it's energy. It is energy. It's an energy exchange. I see something, even for like someone who I'm like, is she mad? Like she didn't use the exclamation mark this morning. Like
Yeah,
you just never know.
true. that that is true. Lord, that's so
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Oh, I love this. I love this for us.
I
Look.
know, I know. Ugh,
Yeah.
good. So this was a good conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could. I feel like this is one of my favorites, but I favored all of them. But
Oh
like,
my gosh. Yes.
I feel like we just deep dive since we're bringing everything together because we literally
Yeah.
thing. Uh, yeah. So even though this series might be ending, like the work doesn't
Yeah.
stop here. So for all you guys who are watching, like you've got the tools, right?
Yes.
Gave you the tools, right? You just have to keep using them in a way that actually works
Yeah.
for
For you.
you. Okay, okay.
Yes.
And I don't want you to feel like it has to be perfect. Take imperfect action.
Yes. I love
Take
that.
action. So it
I
doesn't
love
have to
that.
be perfect, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. So
Mhm.
you can make it pretty or whatever later, but just
Yeah.
action. Um, so as we go into this last week, let's
Mm.
let's talk about intention. So
Yeah.
this week I'm choosing to blank.
Mm.
Guys are watching, you can say it loud, write it down. But this week, I'm choosing to blank. What is the blank that you're choosing to do or to be this week?
Yeah. Well, inspired by you, I'll start first. Look. I am choosing to be joyful on purpose, like that childlike joy. So, like, finding really joyful things, and I'll say at least three things. I'll give myself three things on purpose. And like, y'all gonna see me post a video of me hula hooping in a second, like,
Right.
or something. And just finding, and not joy just in a, joy. I'm talking about extreme joy. That's what I'm gonna do. That's gonna be my intention. So I'm gonna seek it on purpose.
Oh, girl,
Yeah.
not wait to see.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see it. Um, so this week I'm choosing to even just do more for my future self. Like I feel like I
Mm,
kind of do it like I mentioned with attending the events, but like how can
mhm.
I also apply it to other aspects of my life? Um
Yeah.
so being more intentional
Ooh.
things for my future self. I mean, I went to that event because
Yeah.
I wanted to like make the connections, but realizing and being intentional with the things that I'm choosing to do and places I'm choosing to be for my future self. So
Yeah.
be more intentional about her.
Yeah. Yo, my future self is so dope. Ah!
It-
I think of that. I'm still again reading The Artist's Way. One of the prompts was like 65. You were 65 with money. What are your five like things that you want? And I was like, 65? Like in my mind, I couldn't even think of the five things. But I was like, that's for me, that's 30 years.
yeah,
Like, so I know I think of future self, I won't even lie. My future self is maybe like 6 months to a year, maybe tops 2 years. Like,
hmm,
I've never thought to think 30 years ahead. So it really like uprooted, like, because I can't just think of my dreams for 2 years. We're talking about 30 more years. And technically, I haven't even been doing what I want for 30 years because, we were growing up for
exactly.
18 of those years. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that was hard." I did say, a sauna and steam room in my house, like, in my house is because I want multiple, but even that means I need to be doing the sauna steam room now. I'm not gonna just buy a sauna steam room because I don't sauna steam room, you know? So it's like even thinking of, like, the habits for the next 30 years blew my mind, sis. So just leaving that there with you so you can think about your super de duper future
For,
self.
for, for sure. Oh, and also I did
Yeah.
Artist Way. So once I finished this,
Ooh.
I got the book. So once I finish the book I'm reading now, that'll be up there.
Okay. Girl, I'll redo it with you. We can come back for these lives just talking about each week.
Okay,
Ooh, that could be a thing.
it could be a thing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Look.
Right, right, right.
Because
So,
there's so many gems in that book. And we are, like you said, you like the translator
mhm,
of
mhm.
things for others too, to inspire. Yeah.
Excited. I'm excited to deep dive in it because it definitely looks like you are having a time with that
Yeah,
book.
girl. I'm over here fighting through. It's like you need to be doing this in a beautiful way because it's like this is what you're good at. And I'm like, oh my God, I know, but how do I do it? Oh, so it's forcing me to create on purpose, which is beautiful. So I look forward to you doing it. And anyone else who's watching, like the artist way and just getting into your creative bag, I think that's a beautiful avenue of finding what lights you up. Is
Mhm.
just by starting to create. Yeah.
Yes. Going back to
Right?
going
Yeah.
back to purpose. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So great, 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 great. So with that said, what homework we got for them?
Homework, and this is like life homework in a sense. I've been in my YouTube creation bag. Okay, so I have a couple things that I want you to do. I have it's less than 10 minutes, but just for SEO friendly, 10-minute heart meditation that I would love for you to listen to, and it just gives you a moment to pause and still listen to your heart. And of course, it'll talk about giving a little bit of gratitude. So I'm going to throw that in there. Of course, another yoga class. I've been recording all over the world, so I'll send you one just to be inspired to dream. Maybe it'll be probably the Belize one in a fun way. To be inspired that you can move your body, but also look at a pool and maybe you're going to plan your vacation. You never know. So I'll say that too. And then I would go back into, even if you know your purpose or you think you know your purpose, or for those who don't, just think a little bit deeper about what lights you up
Hmm.
and list it. List like five things. It can be silly, but if it lights you up, it's integrated in with your purpose in somehow, some way. So I would start there. I think those are the only ones. Yeah, you have some good stuff. You have some good homework for them.
I do. I have some great homework for them. one thing, one thing. Um, we are already a little more than halfway through the year, but it doesn't matter. You can always start it now. I
Yeah.
want you guys to create a win jar.
Yes.
This
Yes.
that I do at the top of every year. I'm actually gonna have the video linked in the description of like the whole process, the why, and
Yeah.
things like that. But it's literally a visualization of your wins, whatever it is, small win, big win. You literally just write it on a piece of paper and put it in the jar. So even like the end of the year or when there's moments of like self-doubt or whatever the case is, you can literally just go back into the jar and reflect on your wins. Like, dang, I did that. Oh yeah, I did do that. So just just a way to for some happy hormone hits, dopamine,
Yeah.
orphans, things like that, sense of accomplishment.
I love that.
Because the smile on my face when I'm writing something on that note and I get to put it in the jar, like, yes, another win and another one.
Yeah.
Big Khaled voice, another one, right?
Another one.
As this week is to create your win jar. So if you check
Love
the
that.
I have all the stuff that you need to create yours down there. Um,
Yes.
as far as videos this week, I have another workout video for you guys. Um, and then our in-person experience, I'll have the details down there.
Yes.
So hopefully you guys in
Down
person
below.
and I get
Yeah, because we actually are like this in person too.
yeah,
We are. Blink. Everyone, but they think I'm taller a little bit. But I was like, oh my, because even now I think it's the hair.
it 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 is.
Yeah,
So
it's like makes me taller. No, I love this. I love this. I love the way that going back into we have resources and what we're showing, I invite y'all to get curious. So yes, you click this link and then you see another video, then click that video as well and get curious, and as well as our socials. Follow us on our socials as well for dailyinspiration.com.
yes, yes, yes. I love that. So oh, this was great. So yes, as we wrap
Yes.
in, you guys, I am Tynika, one of your
Yeah.
wellness experts. I definitely enjoyed spending this last couple
Yeah.
weeks with you guys.
Yeah. And I'm Radiance. Yay. And I am all things wellness as well. But it's one of those things to where I am wellness and your hype woman. Okay. So if you're ever feeling like, oh, this is getting hard, follow me, hit me up, and we'll figure it out together. So
Absolutely.
I've loved these past 4 weeks. What? This is what lights me up. Look.
Okay. Yes, yes, it does. And if you guys have enjoyed
Yes.
it, let us know in the comments. What did you
Yeah.
enjoy? Your favorite week? What was your biggest takeaway? What was your
Yeah.
nut that has made like the biggest difference so far? And what are you looking forward to?
Yeah.
Like we want to hear all the feedback. Like
We're excited.
let us know.
We're
Let us
excited. And share this with someone also. Like, if there's someone that you're thinking about where you're like, oh, this would be great for them, share it. Share it. Yeah.
yeah. I love
Yeah. Aw. I feel like
I know.
I don't want to go, but we do have to. Because we have to go do more things that light us up.
Exactly.
Yay.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
celebrate my mama's birthday. So that lights me.
Happy birthday, mom. Yes. And kudos to you. Kudos to you because like you're taking care of your mom. I love that. I love that.
My girl.
Light
Yes.
her up.
Yeah. It's gonna be a great day.
Yes, it is going to be. All right, girl. Happy have a great look. Happy ending to this beautiful series and have a wonderful day and week on purpose. And
Yes.
we'll see each other soon.
All right. Bye.
Yes. All right, bye.